What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Brandon Coin YouTube channel. It is August 21st, 2022, and we are still mining Ethereum. Actually had an uptick on Ethereum today, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I have wanted to do solar for a while. I talked about it in a previous video over on my old house, but we weren't planning on staying there forever, and I'm super glad I did not get into debt buying solar panels or buying a solar system because we ended up moving. The place that we're at now, though, this is our long-term house. This is where we're going to be for a super long time. We might plan on building a bigger house beside it, but we're always going to have the first building. So installing solar kind of makes sense for us time-wise because solar's like, everything's a numbers game. If you stay there long enough, it will ROI. Like if you mine something long enough, it will ROI in theory. But the sun's never going away in theory. Now, I just wanted to talk about some rough numbers, just to get them off my brain and kind of like maybe have like a dialogue with you guys because I know there's a lot of you guys out there that are running solar panels. I don't have any friends that do, so I don't have anybody with personal experience. I'm just looking at some rough napkin math and trying to make sense of it in my head. So let's jump right into that. And where are we at? Where are we at? Right here. So the first thing I started off with was looking at the average cost per watt, like per state. And North Carolina for a 6 kilowatt solar system, which apparently is a pretty entry level system. I'd probably want to go bigger than that, but we'll talk about like what's a standard entry level system from what Google says. By the way, I have no experience with this, but it would cost me about $14,000. And in North Carolina, the cost per watt is about $2.49. So $14,000, I'd have a 6 kilowatt solar system, and in my area, that would produce anywhere from 400 to 900 kilowatt hours of electricity a month. And I guess that ranges because in the summertime you get more sun versus in the wintertime. So we'll take 4 to 900 and split the difference. What, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe like we'll say 650 kilowatt hours a month, and we'll take that on the old calculator. So we're looking at 650 kilowatt hours a month, just averaged out, and we'll divide that by 30 days. So we're producing 21.6 kilowatt hours of electricity per day on a 6 kilowatt hour system. So obviously there's no 100% efficiency, but if we divided that by 6, that means for like 3.6 hours out of the day we're getting like a full 6 kilowatt hours of power. I know more realistically you're getting like 70, 80, 90% for a different amount of hours, like time wise. And also, depending on like North Carolina is pretty rainy, a lot of clouds, that kind of thing, in different times of the year. I know that will affect it too, but so we're just trying to look at averages. So 3.5 hours of full production, that looks realistic. Sorry, I'm talking to the guys that know because I'll need y'all to comment down below. So 21.6 kilowatt hours of electricity a day, and my electricity rate. So we'll take that 21.6. My electricity rate right now is about 12 cents per kilowatt hour with all my fees, my delivery, and everything wrapped up. It's actually 10 cents per kilowatt hour, but it ends up being about 12 once you add all the fees and taxes and stuff in. So we'll times those 21.6 times point or 0.12. That's our 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So the solar panels are producing or saving me, sorry, $2.59 a day. In North Carolina, I have I have a power company that will allow you to backfeed, but it's not exactly highly incentivized because you don't backfeed at 100% of your rate. You backfeed at somewhere around 40 to 50% of your rate. So you don't want to like overproduce if you don't have to. I know that makes it difficult because a lot of people don't want to have like battery backup and that kind of thing. And I've gone back and forth on it. Like battery backup would be nice if the power goes out, but then it makes your ROI, your return on investment, so much longer. So, just strictly speaking, for what this will produce during the day, during like the time it's running, $2.59 a day. Not great on a $14,000 installation, but if we're taking that times 30, that's $77 a month, and times 12, 900, almost $1,000 a year. So I'm looking at about a 15-year ROI. And that's pretty good because that's only about half the life of the panels. Now the batteries is another story. But if I'm okay, before we get too far along here, a lot of people are like, oh, you're not going to be able to burn that power during the day, so it's going to end up backfeeding because you're going to be grid tying. And me, like you guys know, I'm burning quite a bit of power with mining, so I'll be able to soak up every bit of that power during the sunlight hours. So nothing will get wasted and sent back to the grid at a reduced rate. So I will get to utilize 100% of what I'm actually generating on solar side. So with a $14,000 system, I would save myself, $933 a year in electric because I'd be burning every bit of it. Obviously, I can scale the solar up to save more, but I'm trying to start at the bottom because if it doesn't make sense at the bottom, why it ain't gonna make sense at the top because like it scales from what I can tell pretty linearly, like panel to panel to panel. So yeah, 15-year ROI, and that would be doing a grid tie system with no batteries, and I'm still like burning full production during my daylight hours. This is all theoretical, by the way, in my head. If I'm missing something, please comment down below. So I mean, it sounds pretty good, and apparently there are solar rebates. So 2022 solar tax credit on a rebate. Both residential credits and business investment tax credits are 30% effective for solar equipment placed in service anytime after January 1st, 2022. So on a $14,000 system, 30% that's pretty hefty. Here I'm looking at $4,000. So now I only need a $10,000. So I'm looking more at like 10 to 11 years return on investment. From what I understand, most panels right now are good for about 30 years. So that means on the worst end, I would get 15 years out of them if I didn't end up getting the tax credit, that kind of thing. I don't know what's required to get that. On the good end, say if I did get my tax credit, I would get about 20 years of profit, so to speak, after those panels had paid themselves off. And then I was looking into it. I guess you can start off with a grid tie system, and it can also be a battery backup system later on if I wanted to add batteries, but I don't have to start out with that. So that's pretty cool. Because maybe mining isn't a thing, or maybe mining's not, viable in 5-10 years from now. Maybe like, big corporations have just taken it over and we can't even compete. So in 10 years, what am I going to do with my solar at night? Maybe we put a battery backup system on it. So yeah, just spitballing ideas here. I'd love to hear from you guys down below. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole because I know like I start looking at it and it gets very, very expensive. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't need, me personally. Not saying that it's not good to have, but I'm just trying to look at it as like a investment. So I know it does also help out with like wear and tear on your roof, so to speak. I do have a metal roof, so from what I understand, it's kind of like, my roof was like 50-year rated regardless or something like that. So it's not like it'd be saving my shingles any amount of lifespan. But yeah. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. This is just my first step back into thinking about it. I know the prices have got a little bit better since the last time. It was probably 3 years ago since the last time I looked at it. But yeah, let me know. And then there's like a whole nother group of people that are like, oh, go the DIY way. And you know what? I'd kind of love to do that. So that may be another option. Save the money and do it myself. But all right, guys, y'all have a good one. See you on the next one. Adios. Yo, we're at 9 minutes and 16 seconds. Would you guys mind if I shamelessly sit here and just hang out with y'all for another 40 seconds? That way we can hit 10 minutes and maybe the YouTube algorithm hierarchy, the big AI in the sky would just be like, yo, he made it to 10 minutes. Push this video out to everybody. Send it to everybody, And then I might get like a couple views on it. You know what I'm saying? Is that bad? If you don't agree with it, you know what? Click this video off right now. If you do agree with it, just stay with me. By the way, today, just drink of the day. Let me crack this open and let you guys know what we're drinking. Mountain Dew Code Red. If you're not about it, it's cherry flavored Mountain Dew that has a absolute boatload of caffeine. 54 milligrams per 12 ounces, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's more than regular Mountain Dew. You know what? Let's go down the rabbit hole. How much caffeine in 12-ounce Mountain Dew? 54 milligrams. Okay, so it doesn't have any more caffeine than a regular Mountain Dew, but it's cherry flavored. I like cherry, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, the more you know. Hey, look at that. Y'all stayed with me, learned a fact. Code Red has the same amount of caffeine as regular Mountain Dew. All right, guys, later. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.